Howdy. Welcome to the Tony DeGonia Show. We're coming to you straight out of East Texas. So find you a spot where you get some good signal, grab you a glass of sweet iced tea, and get ready, because we're jumping in feet first. Howdy, folks. This is Tony DeGonia, your host for the Tony DeGonia Show. Oh boy, it is June 7th, 2018, roughly 10:30 a.m. It's going to be another hot one in East Texas, I do fear. But that's okay, because we got some great stuff coming at you today. We're going to talk about a couple of things, just basic stuff, IT related and what I like to call convergence related issues. Because, back in the day, in the early and mid 90s, we had a big push called convergence, and it was converging IT and telecommunications together. Well, now that I'm in the physical security realm, as they like to put it, I see convergence happening all over again between information technology and IP CCTV, or video surveillance, as we sometimes call it, physical security. There's a lot of different things that you call it. But what we're finding, and I think what a lot of old school security guys are finding, is that with the changes in security and the way it's delivered these days, they're finding that they're susceptible more and more to IT-related issues. That's very frustrating for these guys, because a lot of them don't want to be IT guys. A lot of them have been long-time security guys. They like it. They like their matrices. They like their, coax cables and their short-haul cameras and all of that sort of thing, where they get 2CIF, and that's good enough for them. But the industry is quickly evading them and moving on down the line. So we're going to talk a little bit about one of those things. The first article we're going to take a look at today is the fact that, if you have security cameras, your footage is, the article says maybe, I say is, susceptible to ransomware. Because ransomware doesn't care what kind of data it locks up and takes over. It just cares that there's bits and bytes there for it to do something with. And with that being said, video is just made out of bits and bytes. It's all the same. So I found this on Tech Republic. You can find it on Tech Republic as well. It's written by Brandon Vigliarolo. It was written today, or yesterday, June 6, 2018 at 9:27 a.m. Pacific time. Why your security camera footage could be at risk in a ransomware attack. There's more at risk during a ransomware attack than you think. Images, videos, and other media could be targeted as well. A March ransomware attack on the Atlanta Police Department, Atlanta has really gone through the ringer, is still being felt 3 months later, as the department reveals it has irrevocably lost all its dash cam footage due to the incident. Did they really lose that, or did they just use it as an excuse to delete that stuff? Just kidding. But in all reality, it could happen. The March incident affected not only the APD but all of Atlanta city government, resulting in the near paralysis of the city. Like many ransomware attacks in the past year, the one that targeted Atlanta, SamSam, relied on unpatched known vulnerabilities to wreak havoc. And I've never understood this. Cities do business one of two ways. They either outsource to an IT firm that takes care of everything, or they build an IT staff that generally they're pretty good. The city of Atlanta is a large city. There's no reason why they should be in that situation where they'd have unpatched vulnerabilities. Understanding the compliances that they have to go through, which is way more than HIPAA or PCI or GLBA or Sarbanes-Oxley. I mean, the city of Atlanta, just the police department alone, which lost footage, has to go through the CGIS audit. And the CGIS audit is, the last time I saw it, it was about 42 pages of auditing material. And it's put on by the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and every municipality, every sheriff's office, municipal police department, large city police department, state law enforcement agency, and the FBI themselves all have to comply with this audit. If they don't, then they're given a certain amount of time to get in compliance. If they don't get in compliance, then the FBI can actually come in and shut down that law enforcement agency and prevent those agencies from performing the duties they need, which is bad for the communities because they don't have a law enforcement presence. But it protects the law enforcement agencies. It's not there to be a hindrance. I've done probably 100 of these audits over my career, and they usually take 3 or 4 days to complete one audit. I mean, that's just the audits. That's not the prep or if you get gigged on something, that's not the time it takes to fix those things. That's just sitting down with the FBI official or the state level official who's responsible for performing the audit and going through the many pages of audited material. And it's more than just information technology. I mean, it is every aspect of security, both physical and electronic, throughout the agency. So anyway, for many IT directors and security professionals, the data that's considered valuable in a ransomware situation is mission essential databases, spreadsheets, and applications, and the like. As the APD can attest, there's a lot of other kinds of media that is at risk when ransomware hits. Any data stored on a computer or server infected with ransomware is vulnerable, and that includes video, images, audio, and other types of media. It's easy to overlook these kinds of files, but their loss could have serious impacts, on an organization in ways it's hard to immediately consider. So, how do you avoid a ransomware infection? Ransomware actors have repeatedly shown their love for known and patched vulnerabilities as attack vectors. Petya, WannaCry, and its myriad impersonators all affected systems that had failed to install critical security updates. The best way to prevent ransomware and protect files of all different kinds is to keep systems and servers up to date in order to avoid falling prey to a known vulnerability. to a known vulnerability. Keeping antivirus software updated should be a priority as well. It's not just a priority, it's absolutely essential. Keeping your firewalls up to date, keeping your firewalls going beyond just a basic firewall, putting in, that next gen firewall, or even a step beyond that is essential. Anything you can stop at the gateway is something you don't have to deal with inside your network. So it goes on to say, enterprises should use group policy to control app installation and execution to prevent users from installing or running software that hasn't been vetted and approved. And older systems running outdated OSs may not have received essential security patches, should be replaced and retired as well. Just like those 70-year-old cops still trying to run the beat. It's time to retire, time to get replaced. Might be great guys, they can't do what they used to do. Ransomware can find its way onto a network in a variety of ways. Malvertising. This is a word I haven't used in a bit. A malicious attachment, remote code execution, and other attacks could all lead to infection. Proper security against ransomware is proper security against any other kind of attack as well. So be sure you aren't missing any steps in hardening your network. You never know what could happen if you don't. For tech leaders, the big takeaway is ransomware that attacked the Atlanta PD resulted in the loss of all archived dashcam footage, demonstrating that all forms of media, including video, audio, and photos, are at risk. Securing against ransomware attack is just like securing yourself against any other threat. Keep systems updated, harden your network, and plan for a variety of attacks. You can subscribe to Tech Republic by clicking on the subscribe button at the bottom of this particular article. I am not going to put this article on TonyDeGonia.com. I just don't have time right now. But I do hope you take the time to listen to the podcast so that we can share some time together. All right. So, our next conversation is going to be about, I had one picked out. Let's see. How about this? Here are the 2 biggest IT priorities for boards of directors. I like this one because while we try to cater to SMBs, small businesses, and the like, a lot of small business leaders take their cues from what's going on with bigger business. And with that being said, if you don't know what's going on with them, then how can you take your cue from them? So let's take a look and see what they're thinking. Here are the 2 biggest IT priorities for boards of directors. As cybersecurity threats reach an all-time high, the 2018 KPMG Harvey Nash CIO survey found that more companies plan to boost investments in data privacy and security. Unfortunately, what we're going to probably find in 2018 is that while large-scale organizations plan to boost investments, smaller businesses more than likely are going to decrease the amount of spending. It's been that year over year where small businesses just don't see the value in it. until they have a ransomware attack or a malware attack or get hacked and have someone floating around in their network for a week. The problem with that is that once that happens and data stolen or lost or deleted by a hacker, ransomware, malware, companies that don't have backup, good, proper, professional backup, never recover. And over 50% of the time, they go out of business. Larger organizations, while it's difficult, tend to have financial reserves that they can utilize to stay in business. And generally, they invest in what they need to invest in to stay afloat and to stay in business. Small businesses don't always take things as seriously. So small business leaders, I'm talking to you out there, guys. Remember, IT is a profit center, not a cost center. Try writing everything down on paper and see how much work you get done. Without your computers, everything slows to a snail's pace. Which, hey, if that's what you want to do, if that's your bag of beans, you want to sell trailers and write everything down on paper, I've met plenty of people that make a lot of money doing it that way. But if you're in any other kind of business, those computers are essential. So let's talk about this right quick. All right, the two biggest IT priorities for boards of directors as cybersecurity threats reach an all-time high. The 2018 KPMG Harvey Nash CIO survey found that more companies plan to boost investments in data privacy and security. Especially in Europe, they have to because there's a new law. GDPR, I think it is. And so they've got to do more for privacy. So increased security concerns are leading boards of directors to prioritize cybersecurity compliance. The 2018 KPMG Harvey Nash CIO survey reported that 23% more companies have upped their security focus from last year. The survey also found that focusing on managing operational risk and compliance was up 12% last year. While the number of IT leaders concerned with network safety has increased 71% from last year, only 22% said they had felt prepared for a cyber attack. The survey reported that 78% of CIOs defined their cybersecurity system as only moderately effective. That's not very good numbers. The increased concern also creates a demand for employees that can be hard to find. Some 35% of those surveyed reported that they couldn't hire people with the kind of digital skills called for. Additionally, 9% said that their company had almost no clear digital vision at all. And I'm going to speak to that for a minute. There's a problem there. See, because there's all these companies out there that are looking for what we call unicorns in the industry. They want someone that's got 15 different certifications, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a PhD in cybersecurity. And what they do is they totally skip over people that are really, really good people that are willing to learn, know how to learn, but for whatever reason, maybe don't have the opportunity to learn or don't have, they're not financially viable enough to go out and get the education that they need. And so they've got some experience and they're pretty good at what they do, but they're not quite the hot rods that everybody wants them to be. So instead of hiring people on potential and on capabilities, potential capabilities, they're hiring, or worse yet, not hiring on the set of requirements that you would only find in magical, mystical fairyland. When what they really should be doing is hiring good people with great potential and investing in them. Stop being afraid that these people are going to run away as soon as you teach them how to spell ping. Okay? As soon as you start doing that, what you're going to find is that you're going to have a lot more loyalty. And what happens when you breed loyalty in technical people? You have people that stay with you for a very long time. And when you breed loyalty, you breed continuity within your environment. When you treat those people the way that they should be treated, and you pay them decently, and you give them raises occasionally, and pat on the back, some kudos, things like that, then you have people that are, number one, they're worth having because they're going to give you the shirt off their back, and number two, while some of them will leave, there will be a percentage of turnover even after your training. The really good ones, the really loyal ones, the ones that you want to stay anyway, they're going to hang around. But IT leaders don't seem to get that. They don't seem to understand that you hire smart people, and if they don't know what you need them to know, you get them the training that they need so they can do the job you want them to do. Because without that, you'll never find what you're looking for. It doesn't matter if you go after the H-1B visas or what. You're not going to get the right people. Even H-1B visas, once they come here for a year, they realize that the $35,000 a year that they signed on for to come here was kind of jacked up, and will insist on more money. Now, not everyone's going to work out. I mean, it's a risk, guys. It's a risk. You're in business. Everything you do in business is a risk. Every decision you make has a certain amount of risk to it. So you have to analyze that risk and decide, is the risk worth the reward? And what I think these larger organizations would find if they were to start building some sort of an academy type program to develop the talent that they need from within based on potential that they find in certain people. I think what they'd find is, number one, they would find the best people they could ever want. They would breed that loyalty, and they would breed consistency throughout the organization, not just in the IT department, but across every department, because it's a strategy that can be replicated. What tends to hold technology leaders back is a lack of trust in relying on digital to guide decisions, Barry said in the release. The disconnect is largely due to the absence of proper talent who fully understand how the technology can drive the business strategy. Companies who can source the right skills and establish a clear digital vision will be the ones who will benefit the most from these opportunities. Now, those companies are in the same situation that the other companies are in, but those are the companies that breed success within their ranks by helping them to get the training and understanding that they need. Because not everybody, even if you teach them everything they need to know about information technology, not everyone is going to understand the business case behind what you do. Right? And not everybody's business minded. Some people are. Some people will get it very quickly. Some people will take those IT skills, relate them to business skills, move into a department where they can utilize both IT and business skills, and then you'll really have a hell of an employee. A drive towards employees with security and resilience skills created the largest jump in skill shortages with a 25% increase. As noted in a previous report by Osterman Research and TrustWave, 57% of businesses can't find enough IT security staff. However, for the fourth year in a row, big data and analytics skills remain as the number one most needed skills. Some 65% of those surveyed reported that the shortages were keeping them from properly leveraging the firm's data assets. Studies have shown that data scientist is one of the most sought after and well-paid tech jobs. Well, guys, listen, the reason that you're having such a problem with these shortages is it's new technology. I mean, come on. Big data as a whole has only been around for a few years. Data scientists being able to take, cloud-based databases, NoSQL databases that, have disparate fields and, pull information in from any different direction so that it can be evaluated and trended and things like that. Those guys are new. I mean, you've got a 10-year wait on that. Despite the interest, despite the amount of people that want to go that route, it's not easy. It's not an easy job, number one. Number two, I think you're going to find that women in STEM, in a lot of cases, are going to be much better suited for those roles, simply because of the physiological makeup of men and women. You can say what you want, and you can be upset with me and say, oh, well, women can do anything men can do. And what I'm saying here is that for jobs like that, in a lot of cases, women can do it better, just simply because women tend to be more patient. They tend to be able to analytically draw conclusions in ways differently than the way men do. That doesn't mean that men aren't good at it. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying, though, is that I think you're going to see over the next 5 to 7 years is a huge drive in STEM, where you're going to see women coming out of the STEM programs as data scientists at a larger rate than you see men coming out as data scientists. Whereas you'll see cybersecurity, on the other hand, being a more predominantly male-focused science and technology. Just my opinion, got nothing to back it up other than, almost 50 years of experience, or almost 50 years of age, and a lot of experience watching people, getting to know them. The report also showed an increased need for a chief digital officer. The survey found that organizations with CDO were twice as likely to have clear digital strategies than those without one, 44% to 21%. Let's see. We want to have an entire department dedicated to data, just pure data, but we don't want to give them a chief leader. Let's stick them under the technology officer or the information officer or the security officer. That's kind of dumb. Come on, guys. A little common sense here. Somebody who knows what's going on has to lead that group. You cannot stick. That would be like That would be like a janitor running a department of rocket scientists at NASA. Doesn't mean the janitor's not smart. Doesn't mean he's not a genius. Means he's probably not trained to lead a bunch of rocket scientists. Simple concept. You just probably wouldn't do that. So, yeah, come on. That one's easy. Chief Digital Officer has got to be a new chief board member, simply because you just got to have this. Okay, big takeaways for tech leaders. To keep pace with digital transformation, boards of directors at any companies are prioritizing cybersecurity skills and operational risk and compliance. The tech talent shortage is one major barrier to digital transformation success, with security and analytics skills in high demand. Guys, we solved the problems. We solved all the problems of the world. Now, if we could just get people to listen to us, then, maybe we could actually solve a few problems. We're not going to solve every problem. Obviously, it doesn't work that way. But I do believe in, you've got to have a loyalty program. You've got to have a training program. You've got to figure out a way to build the skill sets that you need from within to a certain degree. That doesn't mean you can't hire from the outside if you find that magical unicorn. But what I'm saying to you is that, number one, finding that person is very difficult. So those job openings go for a very, very exorbitantly long amount of time before they're filled. And what it does is it creates backlogs of work that needs to be done, that even if somebody takes the position and can do it, they're going to walk into a mound of work that they just can't even imagine. And that's not really fair to those guys. What I say, hire a few, and with the rest of them, build your own. There are too many really good, really smart people out there who want to get the training, who want to do the work, who may not be able to afford to do the work or go out and get the training. Those are the folks that you target. Target some folks coming straight out of college. But don't forget that the folks with some experience, those are the ones where you're going to get your ideals from. Those are the folks that have been around the block. Those are the folks that are going to be your creators, your imaginators, and they're the ones that are going to show you new ways to get things done and to get ahead of your competition, because they know what it's like to be in a world of competition. A lot of times kids coming straight out of college, they have no idea what it's like in the real world to have to go up against the competition where the people at the top of the chain hate losing more than they love winning. And they're not going to get that, not for a few years. They will someday. They're not stupid. I mean, kids today, they catch on eventually. But what I say is, if you can't buy it, build it, because there's lots of talent out there on the market that would love to build a new or expanded career opportunity. All right, guys. We're at 34 minutes, almost 35 minutes. We're going to cut this one short today. I want to thank you for visiting with me, listening in. I really do love doing these short ones. I hope you listen in, download. I hope you get something out of this. Feel free to visit TonyDeGonia.com, go to the contact page, shoot me a message. Let's talk. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Hit me up on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Tony DeGonia .se. You can hit me up on Twitter, which is twitter.com/Tony DeGonia. Just hit me up, guys. Let's chat. You can find podcasts on every major outlet out there. And my outro guy, which is me, with a different accent, will tell you more. Okay? So with that, I bid you adieu, and we all know the tagline. I'll see you down the road. Well, y'all, looks like the show's over. So check us out on our website, www.TonyDeGonia.com. Then click on the Tony DeGonia Show button at the top of the page. You can also check us out on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, or Spotify, or any of our social media outlets, which you can find on our website at www.TonyDeGonia.com. Hey, thanks for listening in, and we'll see you down the road.